innovative content, global audience.
Hello, good morning, viewers. A very warm welcome to you from the world's capital city, London. My name is Princess Kessy, and this is Inside Nigeria. We have quite a lot going on this morning. Not just this morning, over the weekend, and then today, as of today, so much going on in that country, Nigeria. What can we do? We can run away to our country. That is the other day after the Supreme Court judgment, the president did say that is the only country we have. We are like he's saying in his words, we are just like a family living in one, house, one apartment, but different rooms. And I want to believe as well. I think I like that, statement, because sincerely, we have Nigeria as our own. Where do we go to if we don't talk about issues? If we don't look for a way of moving the country forward? So we have quite a lot. We've seen the electoral process of 2023, and of course, we've seen the tribunal cases as well as the Supreme Court verdicts. Now we know that a lot of people as well. We know that judgment, of course, or the verdict, we definitely, certainly, some will be happy, others will be grieving, others will be, just they're thinking of what to do next, and we have other issues as well. And this morning we saw that in River State is actually a goal. What is that move to impeach the sitting governor? And of course, the leader as well. What is going on? We're going to find out about all this pretty soon on the show. You're welcome. And today on the show, I have with me, how I do it here on Inside Nigeria, where I bring, intelligent people here to discuss issues, issues bordering on us as a people, the way forward, what to do, and the best solutions, to address some of these very critical, topical, and sensitive issues as well. You're welcome to the show Inside Nigeria. I have with me this morning Chinedu Obioma Okezi Esquire. He is my guest this morning, all the way from Nigeria. Good morning, sir. You need to unmute your sound, sir, so we can.
Okay, I've done that.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. And you?
Very well, thank you. And so, as a legal practitioner, we've seen that the electoral process has come and gone, but the memories will linger for a long time. This is what we know, 2023 elections. But as a legal practitioner, how would you describe the 2023 election? We looked at the electoral process, and before we even come to the tribunal cases, and of course the verdicts at the Supreme Court just some days ago.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here this morning.
You're welcome.
I must confess that and many people have described Nigeria as a theater of the absurd. It seems as though we've gotten so used to what we see around here that we tend not to expect something better. What I would say is that a lot has to be done, okay, to improve the confidence of the citizenry in the process. Because periodic election is an avenue for the citizens to be able to pick and choose the people they want to represent them in positions of authority. And so if people feel that they are inhibited either by the process or by the persons manning the process, it defeats the intendments of elections. And so while some persons are gloating, some persons are excited, it's a question of the winner takes it all. There's a camp that is rejoicing, and then there's a camp that is, sorrowful. Like, all our efforts have gone down the drain. But then, like we always say in Nigeria, we move. We are formidable. We're able to wither whatever storm that comes against us. Okay, the election was in some places we recorded a free and fair process, while we also had reports of people who were not allowed to participate in voting, in exercising their franchise. And then we also had pockets of violence here and there. All right. And so but then it has come and it has gone, and so I think we we need to learn from the process. We need to learn, and there's an urgent need for amendment to the Nigerian legislation that has to do with election, so that we can be sure, we can be certain that at the next outing we would have a better outcome for everyone, or let me say for the majority of
Majority.
the citizens. Yeah.
But when we talk about the majority all the time, what becomes of the minority then?
Hmm. Okay. Let me just digress a little. Okay. I studied the American system, and then they'll tell you that in America, that America is not a democracy; it's a republic. Okay, so everybody is represented. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, it's more or less the majority that carries the votes. And so we need to ensure that we are able to elect. So in other words, there is need for some kind of consensus building, so that even if you find yourself in the minority in votes, you're able to, you're able to come together to form a formidable opposition. Okay, because if you have a formidable opposition, even though you are in the minority, you are able to extract commitments from the majority, commitments that will better your lot. Okay, so I think that's it for being in the minority. You can form consensus, you can reach across the aisle, to be able to mount serious
Also
pressure on the
stand as
majority.
I feel like in a country we should actually have. Okay, I think your device, you have another device on maybe your phone. You need to turn one off so that we don't have audio issues. Yes. So I feel like in Nigeria, we mostly talk. Sometimes the minority tend to really over, uh, lay back because they feel like, okay, we are minority, our voice will not be heard, it's not our time. But I think when we have sometimes the minority, if they are able to still tackle, criticize, look, stand as, to oversee what the majority does, that also can help grow, our country. I'm talking about politics and every other sector as well. But moving forward, we've seen the electoral process so far. We've seen how all the process went through at the judiciary. Now, and then we saw the verdict as well some days ago at the Supreme Court. Now, what would you say were some of the mistakes or some of the things that the opposition or other parties did not get right or did not actually do right, that we now saw that verdict, brought about the verdict?
Well, first of all, let me say that we are, as lawyers, we are taught that the law is what, there's a school of thoughts in our profession that suggests that the law is what the judges declare it to be and nothing else. Okay, and then some other persons believe that, sorry, and then some other persons believe that once the judge has ruled, and then it's the final court, all you have to the only recourse you have is to accept it, or maybe take your appeal to God. All right. So I may not want to begin to criticize the both parties, but I could talk about what should be done to increase trust on, trust in the process. Because I must confess that many people have had their faith shattered as a result of, what played out. People had expectations. You had very brilliant lawyers on both sides, so you can't really say that there is a mistake, there's a fundamental mistake with any of the parties. But then the law is the law, okay? it has come and it has been done. But then what I would advise, what I would suggest to our lawmakers is that we know in Nigeria it is difficult for someone to be removed from office when the person has assumed office.
Assume the
So
office.
yeah, so there is need for a constitutional amendment to ensure that everything about the
Process.
election litigation is completed before the day of
Swearing
inauguration. Because you find out that some of the governors, it's been reported, okay, that on their own they are unable to afford the litany of senior advocates of Nigeria they bring onto their team. But by the time they get into office, they're able to pool the funds of the states to prosecute their cases. And so, and then you find out that when that happens, it's as though the state is giving cover, to a litigant. Meanwhile, both of them are supposed to be on the same, or on the same footing. And so, let all litigation matters in respect of election be sorted out before a candidate is sworn into office. Then number two, we saw that the INEC chairman said that there will be electronic transmission of results from the polling units
immediately
and
after.
immediately after the process. And I know that millions of naira, was made available to the Independent National Electoral Commission for the purposes of ensuring that that system is set up and it's running. Okay, but we then discovered that in so many places we didn't have it running. Results were not transmitted. And then, the essence of introducing IREV was to ensure that it would be difficult for anyone to manipulate the results. So, but then at the Court of Appeal, you heard that, we saw the learned, the learned jurist in the court stating that IREV was not part of our law, that it's just an INEC procedure. So I think now is the time for the National Assembly to codify, to make it a part and parcel of the system, so that it is clear in black and white that all results must be transmitted from the polling units. And so when that happens, it is easier for people to determine who would eventually get to office. Okay, that's number two. Then number three, I must state that the in the Evidence Act, okay, generally everywhere, if you're bringing a case, the onus lies on you to prove your case, to prove your to prove
Beyond
your allegation, okay. But then I discovered that somehow in this, by the ruling of the courts seem to have placed a burdensome and an onerous duty and responsibility on the petitioners. You understand? Now, how do you tell a petition? And then, we have a limited time for election litigation. Now, what about a situation whereby you want to subpoena a witness from INEC, and then the witness fails to turn up?
tunnel.
Should the responsibility be on you at that point? But then you see that the duty was placed on the litigants, and it was very clear. We found INEC not, INEC did not seem to be independent. You understand? They weren't availing the litigants of materials they needed. And so I think somehow INEC, the law should make it very clear that INEC should be the repository of everything in relation to the election. You should
Election.
have your papers, you should have your ballot, you should have all the, so that whenever a litigant has a need for producing exhibits, they can easily extract it from INEC. And then if INEC is unable to provide it, then they should be made to explain why those things were not made available to the litigants. All right, and then let me say that we need to be very clear, in our laws. It is said that if you want to bring a contentious case, it should come by way of an originating motion, that is an originating process. or something of that nature. I hope I can still, I hope I got it right. But you see, we had a unique case in Nigeria where that is the former, I think it was the former Senate president. Okay, he wanted to campaign. He wanted to be the president. All right, and then so there was primary. The primary was conducted. He did not take part in the primary. Somebody else won. The When he discovered that he failed to get the nomination of his party for the presidency, we don't know what happened, but all of a sudden his name floated. The party floated his name, and the Senate president, said he wasn't going to go to court to contest it. But the party APC said, they were going to go to court to contest that, to contest it. And then we saw that at the Supreme Court said that the process by which the litigants began the case was not appropriate. And it was on that basis that we have somebody sitting in office who did not display any desire for that office. These are the things that I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Do you understand? That's why I'm trying to be a bit restrained, okay? But these are the things that make it difficult for people to trust the process, okay? So a lot has to be done. And then I think last but not the least, once you become the president, once you become a governor, remember you are the governor for everybody. You are the president for everybody. It shouldn't be a winner takes it all. See, I believe that President Tinubu should see himself as the father of Nigeria. Your
And
design
don't,
should be
and don't, Esquire, don't forget also last week that the Juanese was actually accusing the president of being biased in appointments, talking about the ministerial appointments, and we
yeah,
saw other bodies as well, protested of being sidelined
sidelined in the process.
yes, in the process of appointments and all that. So I think I love what you said that the president should know that regardless, it's not about who voted for you, who did not actually voted for you, because people actually, they have the right to their vote and their candidates as well. But it should be a president for all,
Yeah,
like you said. Now,
yeah.
let's talk about, when we look at the whole process, and we know that people are grieved. We know that a lot of people are not happy, while some are even happy, upholding the judiciary, while others are talking down on the judiciary as well. But of course, that is life. Uh, what do you think? Where do you see the Nigerian democracy in the next few years from now? Talking about using this year's electoral process, the judiciary cases, that the Supreme Court verdict as a case studies.
Well, we have. I believe we are growing. Okay, we came
Okay.
to democracy. We returned to civil rule in 1999. Then I was in secondary school. Sorry, I was in primary school. I think I was in primary five then. Okay, so we have made progress. At least 1% progress is better than no progress at all. So, but
Oh,
I think we need to harden our democratic system.
and Esquire, when we look
We
at the,
need to. There is need for. Uh,
go ahead. Can you bring down your screen? Can you push it down a little so that is perfect. Yes, that's
okay.
right. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was talking about that we have seen promising signs, and also we have seen that we need to strengthen our democratic system. Okay, we need. I think it was Hillary Clinton that said that Africa does not need strong men but strong institutions. When you have strong institutions that are ruled by the dictates of the law, it is easier to preserve democracy. It's easier for you to preserve your civil rule. Okay, so it means that we need to go back to the drawing board to strengthen the cracks. For instance, judiciary should truly be independent. Independence implies that they should be financially, they should be financially autonomous. Okay. And then the process of selection should be much more open. Now, it's not as if we don't have these things in our books, but would I say the lack of will of the persons manning these systems to do what is in the books. And sometimes also you see the law needs to be done, okay, so that you have judges that will stick to the text of the law and render their judgment without fear or favor, and are not being inhibited by lack of funds or threats of removal. One, then number two, the electoral system, the people that we vote into office. I have observed something in Nigeria. I don't know, probably that's the same with Africa. We it it appears that our politicians don't really have an ideology. You understand? In America today, if a Republican is coming in, you know what to expect from a Republican person. If a Democrat is coming, you know what to expect. Then, if maybe an independent is coming in, you know what to expect. So, but in Nigeria, we don't seem to, we have not articulated, the political parties have not properly articulated their ideology. And so it makes it difficult for people to hold them to their words. Okay, that is why that is why they cross carpets. Now let me say this. You see, we had Labour Party. Labour Party made serious inroads into the National Assembly, but then we have not really seen them prove themselves. We've not really seen anything different. Okay, it seems as if they get there and then they join the big
Yes.
Abuja,
I understand what you're saying. On the morning show this morning, we actually had that debate where, for instance, people feel, a lot of people have the opinion that, the APC, the ruling party, and of course the PDP has over time dragged Nigeria to the state it was today. We are seeing ourselves today. And then they now had so much expectation on the Labour Party and movement. But another argument, another school of thought did believe that, it's as if though the Labour do not even understand the weight they have or the power they have or what they should do as a party. So it was just all around Peter Obi. And because Peter didn't win the election, okay, they went back
gone
sleeping
back to
off.
their
The movement and everything just dies in natural death, which compared to a developed country, I came here to London and I've been watching a particular TV station, like I said also on my show this morning, and you see that the Labour Party is beyond, just sitting as a president. It's a movement, so we are thinking that apparently, if the Labour Party were to be up and doing still, like because the ruling party need a strong opposition. Sometimes if you don't check
position.
them, if
Yeah.
you don't tackle them, they just go to bed. We saw the time where as Saraki across carpet as well, what not happened. It was always battle issues from all arms. But now we can see, like even the last assembly did say that they were not bothered, that they were called rubber stamp, doing nothing, going there to sleep. So that is a country we find ourselves today. But when we talk about see on the election now, do you think a lot of people did believe that Anna, we should the aggrieved party should have focused on INEC. Now, what do you think is the role of you did say so much, but do you think that they should have focused their attention there? Because you said A and B, like you said, a lot of resources were spent, a lot of money made towards that move, and at the end of the day we saw nothing. And now nobody's talking about how you promised that you're going to transmit result, you did this, it is rigging, and now nobody saw that part. So what do you think we do moving forward with the electoral process? Now there is a paper here this money that did say that I'm looking for the paper exactly so that I read the news the way it is. Or when I see it, I'll let you know that headline particularly. And so, a lot of people are still aggrieved, and they have the opinion that unconstitutional for politicians to be INEC rec, even though we know that most of them are from institutions, universities, and they are not politicians. But they still believe that politicians are somehow buying their ways into the heart of these people. So, what do you think can be done to overhaul the electoral system? Let's even leave the judiciary, because it's what you bring to the judiciary that they will judge you with the evidence made
Yeah.
valuable. Now, let's look at the electoral system of Nigeria. What can be done? Because I think this last election,
Wow.
people actually believe that we're going to get it, if not right, very close to. We didn't have reasons for, a failed IRAV and all that. No reason for not transmitting the result, because you promised us, you were too sure. They did
Mm.
a lot of press briefing, very sure of, this whole thing. So it's as if they had it all figured out.
Okay. I, I would still say that it has to be
Okay, I think a little bit of network issues there. But you know what we used to say when hopefully we're going to have him back on the show. But really, when we look at the electoral process today and moving forward, because the judgment has come and gone, even though people are grieved, we have to move forward. Buhari did tell the Anvil that the time of distractions are over. Now it is time to work, because court cases going back and forth as well could actually be maybe slowing down things that we should do as a country. But he did said that the time of moving back and forth, distractions are over. Now he is willing to work, and he has been working. He said that as well. But we know that reform of our electoral system would not be a by the day, because naturally when people tend to look up to an institution, apparently for some time now they've been looking down on the institution for some time, because they feel that they are not meeting our expectations as a people. And then all of a sudden you came back with this very fantastic idea and said, okay, I think with this idea, this very fantastic idea, I can make this work like not like every other developed country. And a lot of people, the most painful thing in all this is that a lot of people actually keyed into this idea. A lot of the youth did come at gone the days where people did say, my voice will not count. I'm not sure I will be heard. Now, a lot of people did come at that time in Mars to exercise their franchise. And at the end of the day, we are not seeing that, the stories as well, for some reason they could not transmit results immediately, and people felt like that was where everything actually went wrong. Something went fishy at that time, that you're telling us you could not transmit results, something happened and all that. And at the end of the day, people are still in school of thought, like I said, did believe that this would have been the thing to hold on to. Why telling us you can do A and you couldn't even do half A, and then that could also give room for some fishy things or to happen. So they didn't hold on to that, but we've seen that with the judgment so far. What can we do? We move on regardless as a people. Now, don't go anywhere. My guest is still with us here in the studio. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with Inside Nigeria, where we'll bring you everything. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Nomination is ongoing. Contact us at info@superiorradioandtelevision.com or via +234 814 358 2856 or +447 459 513 619. Powered by SRTV in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, elevating good leadership in our world.
Hooray! The next President Show is here again.
Everyone, my name is Hajara Osman Muhammad. I'm the Youth Governor for Kano State, Nigeria's Center of Commerce.
Pronounced Joel Garba, the Youth Executive Governor of Kaduna State, and I am contesting for the Youth Presidents of Nigeria under the People's Liberation Party, PLP.
Aged between 18 and 30, smart, bold, and possess exceptional leadership skills. Do you have what it takes to be the next youth governor and future youth president? Then register free now at superiorradioandtelevision.com or call the number on the screen. The next President reality TV show, moving politics out of the polite drawing room into the clamor of the streets.
This is SRTV Leadership Award. We recognize and honor consistent excellence and exemplary leadership in our society. Nomination is ongoing. Contact us at info@superiorradioandtelevision.com or via +234 814 358 2856 or +447 459 513 619. Powered by SRTV in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, elevating good leadership in our world.
Hello viewers, you're welcome back from that quick break. This is Inside Nigeria. Of course, we have quite a lot coming from Nigeria today, and we've been seeing that even on the headlines today, we see Labour going back and forth with the federal government, and of course the electoral process, the verdict that people are still brooding over while some are still celebrating. And we know that there is a major issue right now at the State House in Rivers State. What is happening with Governor Fubara and that State House of Assembly? We're going to be finding out shortly as I bring in my guest. Welcome, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so quickly, we'll be wrapping up the show very soon. But when we look at the whole electoral process, Nigeria in 63, when a man or woman of 63 years, we know what should be what's up. Like they should, yes, they should have at least lived the life to an extent. And now, how would you rate us so far as 63?
Well, we've made progress, but then it leaves much to be desired. That is what I must say. Democracy thrives when there are, like I said earlier on, when there are strong institutions, strong independent institutions, and then you have laws that are being obeyed, laws that are being respected.
I feel like in Nigeria, there is no rule. The rule of law is the issue. Do people obey the laws? The institutions, that they working? If you ask me, they are not working. We talked about there's a major news this morning that says boat capsized in Taraba. Now many fear dead on that incident. Do you know that a lot of people, the water transport system is something that should be bringing so much to the federal government coffers as well.
Yeah.
But you see, it has been neglected. It has been neglected, and you see that people just buy canoes, small canoe, pack people so much inside, and they tell you, I can cross you over or move you to the next state or city, as it were. And no life jacket just in case of emergency or anything goes wrong. Now, these are some of the issues that shows that the institutions are not working. We saw on the news this morning that a certain minister has been since appointment of 2 months now, no implementation, no policy for 2 months. And you begin to wonder, did they actually appoint the wrong person for that institution? And then these are some of the issues. And I've been opportune now, I'm in London. And sometimes when I came here, funny enough, that would be my first time of actually, this would be my first time of actually living in Nigeria all my life. And, I came here, and when I begin to see things, I'm like, okay, there's actually a problem in the Nigerian system, which I don't know how it will be to resolve, but it's going to take us time. But the prayer, that's why we're here on the show today, is that we get there pretty soon. So, like you
Okay,
said,
let
I
me
don't
say that. Sorry,
go
let me
ahead.
interject a bit here. I believe that those of you in the media are actually doing a very vital job. Okay, that is holding the leaders accountable. Because when we keep speaking about these things, we use the power of the social media, you talk about it, you are able to force the conversation, those tough, painful conversations, and then you see that somehow there will be a shift towards the right thing. Because now we have a national assembly that may not, that may not make laws that would bring about serious changes. So by the time you people in the media keep hitting it, and then we have civil society organizations that are doing their bits, and we have pressure groups in Nigeria, the Nigerian Bar Association, and other professional bodies. When you mount pressure on the leaders, you bring sufficient pressure, you see that they end up buckling. So we may not get there very soon, but I believe that somehow God will help us. We'll get, in Nigeria we are very religious, so I believe that one way or the other somehow we'll get there. But let's just take the step one after the other. Already a lot is being done now. We are currently working with some persons within the National Assembly to see if we can force these changes. At least let them bring up a bill to ensure that some of the loopholes we had in the last election are corrected. And then we want the ministers to begin to supervise the agencies within their ministry. Because you talk about the maritime sector, we have a minister, we have a minister that coordinates the ministry, so but then many times they get there in Abuja, and then they may not look into what transpires in their agencies,
Yes,
the
because
departments.
Esquire, look at this news this morning that says power minister yet to give policy directive after 2 months in office. And so I want to believe that, like what you said, for instance, even a child that
I
was
can
born
hear
today.
you.
Okay, hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, I think we're having network issues from his end again. Quite sad. Yes, like I was even trying to tell him, even a child that was born today in Nigeria. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
I said the power minister yet to give policy directive after 2 months in office, and we know that even a child that was born today will know the power situation in Nigeria. We know that okay, when it's dark in the evening, we don't know what to expect, except of course you can afford fuel and then put on your generator set. If not, we know the light situation. And then a power minister coming on board and being there for 2 months without giving any directive, no policy. Now, maybe when they go to Abuja, they are carried away, or maybe we are actually having the right people in wrong offices. Don't you think so?
Well, possibly both. Okay, both. And I believe that in as much as a president or a governor would want to compensate people that may have labored to ensure that they get to office, but then as a country we need to be careful. We need to be careful that we don't gamble with our destiny. There are sensitive positions that you should reserve for true patriotic technocrats, people with proven record. For instance, you want someone to be a minister for agriculture. What has been his previous involvement
Records.
in agricultural enterprise? what and then you talk about minister for power, minister of power. Okay, does he have any knowledge of electricity? Do they have that knowledge? Can they really drive the needed change? And then you see the charade that goes on in the National Assembly when they come for confirmation. You don't find substantive questions being asked. I think it's even from that point because
I think it's paddy who knows who, and then they don't drill you very well because they
they
themselves,
don't
how did they
drill
get
them.
there? They are friends, and when they get
Yeah,
there, they just take a bar and go. That is it.
yeah. Have you watched? I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you watched the session for the U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. You see the kind of questions the man had to answer. They dust every area of your life, even things that happened when he was in high school. Everything was on display. And so you see that you can't get into some of these positions unless you're able to defend your record. I believe that the people, the civil society organizations, the media should have to force that conversation. Okay, we need to force that. We need to compel these things, compel our leaders to do these things, hold them accountable. Okay, because if you just relax and then you want the protest to play out, we see that it doesn't happen. And then we've had reports. Okay, I can't confirm them. Okay, but we've had reports of some of these people even lobbying. In Nigeria, we lobby with money, lobbying for these political offices. Now, if you have to pay your way through, definitely you are not accountable to the people. So a lot has to happen. A lot has to happen. We need to mount pressure on these people because they're the ones making the laws. Okay. And then when you don't make the right laws, what you have in the books is what the judiciary would grant as their verdict. Okay, so I am saying that in as much as I believe that we should have some faith in the system, I also believe that people that are outside the system should be able to engage, forcefully
In
within
this,
the ramifications of the constitution to hold our leaders accountable and to ensure that the right thing is done.
we are away from federal issues now and the electoral process as well as the verdict. We'll move quickly to River State before we wrap up the show this morning. We're seeing here breaking this morning, coming some very distressing videos coming in from River State this morning, and we can see here that impeachment attempt. Any attempt that is not justified will be resisted. Now, this is coming from Governor Fubara this morning of
Cuba.
Rivers State. As well, we have another story here that says River State Governor Fubara on Monday accused the police of shooting at him on his way to his pet, the State House of Assembly complex that was gutted by fire last night. Now, let's not forget that there was a fire outbreak at the River State House of Assembly just last night. And then we saw that a protest is also ongoing outside the complex as the time of this morning. And we can see that tear gas fired as crisis rocks Rivers Assembly has leader removed. And these are some of the very stories we have coming in from Port Harcourt, and we can see also here that I have committed no offense to warrant impeachment. Now, this is coming from River State Governor Fubara. He said that the governor did say that this morning that he has not committed any offense to warrant impeachment by the State House, River State's House of Assembly. Now, Esquire, let's watch these footages and then we'll be right back immediately.
Those that voted in favor of the removal of Edison Ehi as the majority leader of this House, 23, abstention nil, against nil. By that result, Edison Ehi is now removed as the majority leader of the River State House of Assembly in line with our standing orders.
Yes, these are some of the footages, videos from the River State this morning. We're seeing, uh, we're seeing that the leader of the River State House removed, and of course, moved to impeach the state's sitting governor. Now, what do you make of all this? Being a legal practitioner. Okay, you need to unmute your sound so we can hear you very well. Go ahead, we can hear you now. You need to unmute. We cannot hear you. You need to unmute the sound. Hello?
Yeah, you can hear me
Uh-huh,
now.
go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay. I don't live in Port Harcourt, but based on media reports, it said that there is a rift between the current governor Fubara and his predecessor, who is the minister of the Federal Capital Territory. All right, and so the rifts has resulted in what you're seeing play out in Rivers State. Okay, but then we have laws. We have laws that guide impeachments, and you can only remove a governor for cause, for just cause, for gross misconduct. The constitution is very clear. But what is wrong is when you now manipulate the system to ensure a predetermined outcome. See, you don't begin an impeachment in search of a crime. You impeach when there are reasonable allegations against a sitting governor or a sitting president or a sitting deputy governor, as the case may be. All right. I believe that the president, okay, quote unquote, is said to be the chief security officer of the nation. He President Tinubu should rein in his minister. He should call them, to a round table. I believe that was one of the strengths of President Jonathan. Call these two gentlemen together. Okay, Wike worked for the election of Fubara. All right. So what is really going on? Call them together and then let's talk, so that this does not lead to loss of life and loss of property and unnecessary disturbance in the state. Now, I must confess, Governor Wike tried. He did very well as a governor, but people also said he was heavy-handed in his approach to governance. All right. And I know that in Nigeria we have this tight syndrome. Okay, you get out of office, that is, you're in office and you don't want to leave office. Then when you eventually leave, you want to have control over the resources and over
True of
what
the
is available
yes.
in the street. So that is it. He's no longer the governor of Rivers State. The best he can do is to advise, render advisory, advise the governor, okay, and then work with him. I believe that there is nothing that cannot be resolved. This might, you might eventually boil down to having a political settlement. Okay. Now, Governor Wike also should tell us where he is. Is he a member of PDP or a member of APC? You're serving an APC president. You are a minister for an APC president, and then you are still in your party
PDP
PDP.
in
And
your
now,
states.
yes, and now this is a problem with the system of politics in Nigeria. We have, like I said, we have big men, powerful men, and not powerful institutions. Ordinarily, if this were somebody else, Governor Wike should have been expelled from his party for anti-party activities. But you see, those guys are afraid of him. They feel that he has become so large. Okay, he scuttled the ambition of his presidential candidate, the presidential candidate of his party. All right, and so he needs to tell us where he is, and then I would advise that our president, who I believe is the father of Nigeria, should commence reconciliatory moves. Also, we have traditional rulers that are there that can that may pull one or two strings to bring this thing to a justifiable end before it becomes something that cannot be handled. Okay, and then the police should be made to understand that they are not there to aid illegality. Who set fire on the state assembly? Who did that? There are policemen that guard that place. So who are the people who, who allowed that to happen? People should have to answer questions. Okay.
I think the question then should be how did the fire started? It could be, from appliances, it could be from, other place sources as well. But
Come
we
on,
know
we're in Nigeria.
Nigeria. Yes, I know exactly what you're thinking, and I think a lot of people also have the opinion that something fishy is happening because we saw that fire got set just last night, and this morning we're seeing impeachment move left and right. Let's not forget also that the leader of the house has been removed as well, and so I think I think so. There's something really really fishy that
to make way for someone who is more sympathetic to the FCC minister.
Yeah, so that everything will unfold as time goes on. We'll see more of that report later. But that would be a good place to wrap up the show. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today. Chinedu Obioma Kessy Esquire, thank you for your contributions. We appreciate you and your time as well.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Okay, viewers, it's been a fun ride with you this morning, but that would be a good place to draw the curtain today. I'll see you again on the show Inside Nigeria next week. But before then, do not forget our different packages on SRTV travel tour. We do coverage, we do rentals, and of course, our magazine as low as 30K. You could be the face of our magazine, of course, showcasing your brand, your product, and yourself as well. Don't forget also, we now have a place where you can actually, do your productions, just go in with your crew and you start shooting. How amazing is that at a very minimum price as well? Remember, today is Monday. Keep a positive attitude towards everything. And so it's going to be a beautiful week, hopefully. And we'll see you again next time. But don't drink and drive, and of course, obey the traffic law. Do what follow us on our social media handle: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and X, and of course, YouTube. Subscribe, leave us with your comments, and invite somebody as well to the page. We'll see you again next time on the show. And I remain yours truly, Princess Kessy. Bye.
SRTV Talent Award is here again. We honor, recognize, and appreciate hard work of individuals in the creative industry, films, music, fashion, and comedy. Nomination of various categories is now open at superiorradioandtelevision.com/SRTV-talent-award-registration, or contact us via the numbers on your screen now. Powered by SRTV London in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, and lots more. Nominates.
Hooray! The next President Show is here again. Are you aged between 18 and 30, smart, bold, and possess exceptional leadership skills? Do you have what it takes to be the next youth governor and future youth president? Then register free now at superiorradioandtelevision.com or call the number on the screen. The next President reality TV show, moving politics out of the polite drawing room into the clamor of the streets. Are you a filmmaker in Abuja and its environ? Do you need a place for your music video, or you need a venue for your conference, and even an editing suite for your post-production? Look no further. Our beautiful turret in Lokugoma has it all. We have a whole floor that consists of 3-angle lounge, a beautiful dining area, a large kitchen, a conference area that can comfortably accommodate 60 persons, and 5-bedroom adaptable for all kind of shoots. The good news is all is available at affordable price. And you know what? If you are a member of the Association of Movie Producers of Nigeria, you have 20% discount. So what are you waiting for? Hurry and contact us on the numbers on your screen now.